Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is November the 4th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Tuesday. Hopefully it's been a good day for you. My day was good. It was crazy. Let's just get right into it. So I get up. We can just go ahead and fast forward right to work. And it's a shit show. It's crazy. It's peak. And I'm sure you're going to have to just get used to me saying that for a while until everybody gets settled in, because everyone's got to act new on the job. And look, and in some cases, some people are new, which I'm going to be getting into. And that's okay. You know, I can put you on game in that regard. But some of these motherfuckers are old hands like me, and it's crazy that I have to keep re-educating them in a firefight that we're in, which is this season where it's just yes, there's a lot of business, there's a lot of things flying around, and down where I'm at, there's a lot of cardboard, it's just the way that it is. So I come into work, there's a lot of skids, there's a lot of cardboard, but luckily the crusher is empty. It's ready to go. So I'm not complaining. I'm happy. And then, not to mention, there's a little bit of sugar on top. One of my coworkers comes through and they said, "Hey, I got the, let's call it, how do you say, the blinker." And we exchanged said blinker. And that was a good start of my day. I was like, ooh, nice. I'm feeling pretty right. And as I'm rolling up an empty buggy, a random topside supervisor comes down and proceeds to just ask me a bunch of dumb questions. They're like, the first thing they ask, they go, "Hey, Isaiah, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Well, we were backed up a little bit yesterday from a pickup. They didn't come, and, not to mention, it's busy." Like this is a supervisor. They have been here in this company longer than I have. They have gotten this specific position that they are in. They've been in it for at least, I believe, 2 years now. They know ball. So to come down and talk to me like they're stupid and they want to ask me all these stupid questions is so annoying. It's so asinine to me, and I never understand it. But I'm like, look, I'll play ball. And I go, I don't, in the next question they ask, they go, "Well, how many buggies are there? How many buggies are down here right now?" And I look at them and I go, I don't know. Because in my head, I'm like, I've never in my life come in here and said, I need to count how many buggies are in here. Actually, no, I have. Back in my younger, rookier years, greener years, let's say, where I was a little bit more anxious about that. Maybe I did. But now I realize that that's not a thing you ask me or want of me. You want me to come in here and do my job. Fucking push this cardboard into this compactor and let's fucking move on. So I go, I don't know. And he goes, "How many buggies do you think you've done so far?" Mind you, at this point, I think I've maybe not been there for more than 30 minutes. And I tell him just a bullshit answer, but I actually did the math, after the fact. I was like, oh, I'm right. I was like, I did 4. And then I proceed to immediately follow up in case he doesn't like that answer. I hit him with I get a buggy done every 10 to 15 minutes. And he goes, "Okay, that's good." And then he asked the one relevant question that I've been wanting this motherfucker to ask me ever since we really get into these kind of peaks, and he just has such a struggle with, where he goes, "Well, do you need any help?" And I go, "No, I don't. Actually, I don't." And I'm glad that he gave the decision to me, because essentially when he says, "Hey, I'll give you help," in that regard, he means he's going to give me someone who is going to try to double tap to make this happen faster, which even in the best case scenario means that we just fill up the crusher faster. And then that means that you're sitting on skids for longer anyway. That's not going to actually give you what you want, filling up this crusher faster. It's just a capacity issue, which is, once again, a lesson I've been trying to hammer in to management so they can understand that it's the only way to fix this is to do more pickups. And if you don't want to do now a third pickup because business is that busy, then guess what? We're going to have to surf on cardboard a little bit. It's just the way this works. It's just how this goes. Also, mind you, I didn't mention this stipulation. a lead, this person's lead, the topsider supervisor, their lead had already come down and asked me a general array of questions. You know, like, hey, when are you taking your breaks so we can have coverage? So these things were already hammered out. He did not need to be down here to harangue me, to barack me. But here we are. And then he proceeds to disappear and then randomly pops back in not even like 15 minutes later. And he counts all the buggies. And I'm thinking to myself, what do you hope to accomplish by doing that? But also the funniest, most annoying thing about this, y'all, my dear listeners, let me tell you my gripes. I had already at this point, when I'm talking to this man, had 5 buggies ready to go. They're empty and raw. They're ready for you to take. You have the reach truck operators fucking take them. And like, we're not talking about that though. We got to talk about what we need. And he also then proceeds to do this thing. He always has this mantra that I consider a needle. He goes, hey, make sure that you focus on the buggies and not the skids. And this motherfucker knows that the only time, because I've heard him, Roger, I Wilco, I hear you. Like, I've heard his whole argument about this. We had this conversation year ago, at least a year ago, probably years ago now. I don't remember that part, but like, it's crazy that I have to keep saying, yes, sir, like, yep, okay. But he knows that the only time I'm going to touch a skid is if that skid is in the way. Like, I have to clear it. Like, at the end of the day, it's a space issue and I need this room for more buggies. Like, it's just crazy that we have to keep doing this dance every year. Like, it's new, and it's not new. And like, once again, this is a person who has more experience in this warehouse than I do. Like, I've been on this position for 7 years. This person's been in the company longer than that. And it's just like, but we do this shit every year. And I at this point, I have to think it's some kind of subterfuge. You're trying to like get something out of me, whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like, once again, blinker was already activated. So I really didn't give a hoot. I didn't give a holler. We proceed to hammer on. Okay. I then shifted to like Dr. Phil mode because, after like my first break, first person who was helping me out at the top of the day came through. You know, we're talking about their life issues. You know, I'm a bit older than them. So, you know, I'm trying to like, you know, say my shit, say my spiel. And it seems like it was working. Hopefully, you know, I wish them the best. I hope things are good. I'm sure I'll see him again, you know, but yeah. Then my secondary comes through and we're talking, and essentially it just proceeds to be me telling him the ropes. Like, I'm telling him, here's how peak is going to go. At least how my peaks have gone. I know how these supervisors are going to work. I'm already a little bit teed up anyway from earlier. So I'm putting him on game. I'm telling him what's up. While we proceed to do this, a reach truck driver is pulling in with an empty buggy. They drop it off. They knock into a skid, which is, this is the peak reason why I don't like skids. No one likes skids, is that it's such like there's no room in this whole warehouse, right? And everything is like, we kind of have this allotted spot, like space, these slots, like you can fit so many buggies here. We can maybe fit excess this amount of skids here, and that's really it. There's no room. What if we need to do this or that? Too bad, motherfucker, can't do it. You got to be a good driver. You got to at least know the basics getting around this motherfucker. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna hit something like a skid because you're just not good enough. I don't know, man. Seems like a skill issue to me. I'm not certified. I ain't hop on the equipment. It's not my issue, not my problem. But this motherfucker proceeds to hit a skid, right? And I'm like, okay. I kind of then get immediately upset because I know what he's going to do now and I see him doing it. And he proceeds to like then start taking that skid and putting it in an area where it's going to be in the way. It now forces me to do the thing that I told my topside supervisor, not my supervisor, but the one I have to report to, that I wasn't going to do. I have to now do skids. So I blow up. I immediately crash out. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You don't put it there. You know that. And he goes, it's in the way. Like, I have to move it. I'm like, and I literally, this is verbatim. I'm like, no, if you were a better driver, you wouldn't have to move it. You're the first person today to hit that. And I just look at him and he doesn't say anything. And my dynamic with this specific reach truck driver, it's like, how do I compare it? I can only do nerd comparisons because I'm just an overgrown child. It's like Pokemon, and it's like the Pokemon show with Ash and his Charizard, and he didn't have the badges. This motherfucker won't listen to me. He just brushes me off, and then he continues to just do what he was gonna do. And, you know, the person who is, helping me out, he was like, oh, maybe I can talk to him. Like, maybe, I can say something. And I think, like, he was essentially saying, like, oh, he and I, like, we might have a bit of a rapport. And I'm like, maybe so, but this isn't that, man. He just doesn't care. He understands what I'm saying to him. Like, it's not a language barrier, but I appreciate it. By all means, you can try. So this is day 2 of Peak. I love it. We're so back. Like, we're in the jungle, baby. Let's fucking go. We did fill up the crusher, so that's good and bad, right? And this is just gonna be my waking nightmare, at least till Thanksgiving. So I love that for me. I love that for us. I'll try not to harp on it too much, but I felt like there was enough to talk about that I was just like, let's just fucking yap about it for the day, on the blog portion. Why not? But, it really was something I kind of just took in stride. Like, I was worked up, I was stressed out, but it's not my first rodeo, and I have to remind myself the most that, I have to tell myself that the most, because these motherfuckers are going to act like it's new. I have to remind myself that it's not, and I have to just keep doing my job. Like, if I just come in and I do my best, it's going to be all right. I know it will be. So, I'm leaning on that. I'm knocking on wood, and it's all good. So, post work, we go to the gym. It's time to work out. Actually, super good day for a Tuesday. We get in there. There is a free Smith machine for me. I say, oh, goody. I get my movements done there. I get a free weight bench. I get my movements done there. I get all of the equipment I wanted to hit done. Awesome. Dusted. I hit my cardio. We're good. We're gone. So solid effort. I really enjoyed my time at the gym. It was nice. It was clearing for me. And then that leads us back home, and, we did some research, and, now here we are. We're ready to yap. I'm excited to get into some stories today. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news. Oh, buddy. Oh, also, side note, I might be getting overtime again. My supervisor came by and like post that melee with the reach truck operator, and I said melee. It wasn't a melee. I'm being dramatic. Post that, and he goes, hey, Isaiah, can I come talk to you? And I was worried because I'm like, oh, I'm getting in trouble. And he always has like this diffusing nature where they're like, oh, no, you're fine. It's okay. No problems. And I was like, oh, okay, good. What's up? And they proceed to tell me, hey, we might have an overtime slot for you, which is just like, okay, man. He's like, just check in with me tomorrow and I'll let you know. And I'm like, okay, cool. I at that point, I was just glad I wasn't getting jammed up. You know what I mean? But like, I'll keep you posted if, I'm back on that OT shit. Anyway. Oh, buddy. All right. From the Associated Press. At least 3 dead, 11 injured in UPS plane crash in Kentucky, and governor says number is likely to grow. A UPS cargo plane crashed and exploded Tuesday while taking off from an airport in Louisville, Kentucky, killing at least 3 people and injuring 11 more, the state's governor said. The plane crashed at about 5:15 p.m. as it was